Welcome to Big Girl and Friends, episode 3 on this beautiful, beautiful sunny Wednesday that happened here in Toronto. So if there's anyone outside of Toronto, I hope the sun was shining in your windows when you were keeping a safe social distance from everyone outside, but you were enjoying the beautiful rays coming into your home as I was today. And yes, I just got around the block for a little walk, around the block for a walk. We're actually my partner Gavin and I are house sitting a little dog named Daisy. So like suddenly I've got like dog energy in the house, which was super cool. Anyway, we're excited to have you here for our third performance live stream. Most importantly, in support of the Actors Fund of Canada, an incredible organization that supports all artists, whether you are on the stage as an actor, you're behind the camera as a director or a grip or a wardrobe person or a wigs person, anyone that's involved in the theater and film industry right now that's being adversely affected by COVID-19 is supported by this incredible organization that helps us in these times of struggle. So we thank you for your ongoing support. I would like to make note, as we are live streaming, there is also an incredible telethon happening right now called Places Please Live on youtube.com, Actors Fund of Canada, and it's being currently orchestrated by Mr. Michael Rubinoff, who is the executive producer of Come From Away. So during this broadcast, the AFC communications people will be sending me emails about donations that are coming in, both for the telethon and for Big Girl. So I'll be doing shout outs for both shows, just so you know. And that's what's going to be happening. So let me invite to the screen my co-host, Mr. Ryan Kelly.
Hey! Hey everyone, welcome.
Hey Ryan.
So I'm up here in outer space today. I'm broadcasting from Mission Control, and in honor of our guest and recently where he's been spending a lot of time, I thought I would broadcast from the nearest galaxy and nebula that I could find. I'm staying as far away from people as humanly possible.
Spaceman, oh spaceman, come rescue me.
Okay, anyway.
Ryan, what's it like isolating in space?
Well,
in space,
very cold. It's quiet. Yeah, in space, no one can hear you scream, they say. So I've been filling my days in space with lots of scary movies. Watched The Dead Zone last night. That's a movie that I haven't seen in a long time. Christopher Walken, David Cronenberg. A lot of Canadian and local shots, actually. One of the scenes took place on the Ghoster Coaster at Canada's Wonderland. So I was like, I know that ride. So, and it had been such a long time since whoa, look at what's going on behind me. I'm like avoiding enemy spaceships. I'm a rebel.
It's like Atari, like back on the game thing. Or Galaga, like.
That's what I'm trying to make you feel like a little bit like you never know what's going to happen on Big Girl and Friends.
I just saw a star nova.
That was me, actually. Actually, that's our guest. That's our guest landing tonight. He is the star nova of
absolutely
Canada.
I wanted to briefly mention. So Ryan was talking about watching The Dead Zone. So Ryan is a horror film aficionado.
Oh, I love scary movies.
Yeah, Ryan and I have been buddies for a long time, and Ryan knows that I hate scary movies. So for the better part, I'd say probably for the better part of the last decade, Ryan has been trying to coerce me to watch a scary movie that he knows is scary so that he can watch me watch it.
I just want to watch you watch a scary movie. And then I found out you saw Parasite, and I was like, what? You saw a horror movie? And you're like, well, I didn't know it was a horror movie before. So yeah, no, it will be done. And I promise you will enjoy it. I already know the films I want to show you.
Well,
very unimpressed when I showed you scenes from Battle Royale when we were at the Grand Theater a few years ago. So I know not to take you there.
Well, for someone who has a very low voice, this big girl, I'd be eating popcorn. It's like, and there's like popcorn everywhere.
Fully. Speaking of which, the snack for the day is chocolate chip cookies and a glass of chocolate milk. It is a day of indulgence up here in outer space. They sent us a pack, and so it's a special day, banner day in outer space. Anyway,
Well, as we're talking about being in outer space, as Ryan said, these are all setups for our brilliant, talented, and gorgeous guest this evening, Mr. Tom Allison, who is a star of the stage, has been seen on the Broadway in shows such as Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and she is indeed a fabulous queen. And Ryan, because I'm that guy, what is Tom's amazing television show that's out right now? That's been oh, Tom, we suck.
I think it's called Killjoys, but I don't get it. It's Killjoys, right? Nora's on the show too, right?
It's totally right. So Tom is laughing his face off backstage.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
no, it's Killjoys, and but I can't watch it. I can't. I just get to see pictures of his wardrobe on Facebook, and it's amazing. So,
no, Matthew, I'm not going to watch The Shining. That would scare the shit out of me. So anyway, let us welcome to the screen our fabulous, talented, gorgeous, vivacious, beautiful, beautiful guest. Welcome, Mr. Tom Allison.
Oh, you guys are hilarious.
Flash, really tragic.
Lonely.
I was like, what's that show? I don't got time to watch.
I knew the show. I just had to think about it. I was like, because I can't watch it. It's not on a. It's not on a platform that I have.
I can't even watch it half the time.
Okay,
I never watch. Chris, just a sec. I never watch the shows that I'm on.
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe it's just
me. You did it. You move on. You're welcome, and off you go.
There's two things happening here. There's stars because they're behind Ryan, and stars because Tom Allison has got
this guy right here.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't got. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that bling. That was totally the wrong key.
It's the first time we've ever seen a pearl necklace on this show, though.
Pearl.
So
it's sparkly.
Oh, is it? Oh. Is it a choker?
Like, I want to see jewels. I'm like, you got it, Dame.
Come closer. I want to see it. So who are you wearing today?
It's my own choice. It's the store that's actually closed now. It used to be called Panache. One in Eaton Center, and then one was also at Young and Bloor underneath by the Shoppers Drug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and Tom, as you moved forward, I also saw some bougie bling on the.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
look how clean those hands are.
It looks like you've had a manicure. How is that possible?
No, it's not. I've just eaten them off. That's all.
No. Wash first.
No. What?
So, Tom, I mean, let's talk about the reality of things. Where were you before we all were sequestered to our homes to practice, safety of
safe living? Yeah.
What would you say?
Safe living.
Safe living, yeah.
Basic, so safe living.
We had just finished the run of The Louder We Get.
Yes.
So tell us about The Louder We Get. First off, tell us about who wrote the show and where it was done and what you were doing in the show.
Yes, of course, yes. Well, Akiva, I can't see his whole name. Akiva
Romer Siegel.
Romer Siegel, thank you, there it is. And Colleen Dauncey wrote this
fantastic
show that was originally called Prom Queen, then got changed to The Louder We Get for this production. It's the sort of the third incarnation of it. But Peter Calgary did it, and it was this great big cast of wonderful people, and Lonnie Price.
He directed
Mary Roll Along directed it, which was amazing. He's all right. Whatever.
How was that?
It was watching him work was like a master class, and how to find clarity and depth and meaning and connection, and it was pretty thrilling to be in the room with him for sure.
That's so cool.
Right, and we had 10 weeks of rehearsal as well because it's still sort of a new show. They were fixing it and rewriting as we went along. Through the luxury of time, and then this amazing cast, and the young man playing Mark was Evan Kinane, was extraordinary. I've rarely seen a young actor with such, we have great young actors here, but this kid was like otherworldly, what he could take in, and he would spin in a moment doing these scenes with him. He was magic. It was really kind of cool.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it was pretty great. And so we had just finished the run, and then I came back and, hi, 5 weeks off before I go to Winnipeg.
What was the plan in Winnipeg?
Doing a play at Manitoba Theatre Centre. It was called the oh my god.
We don't know either, so we don't know names.
It was the last show in their season. It was a fantastic play that was supposed to start on this Monday.
Oh, wow.
Ah, damn it.
Well, we don't feel as bad that we forgot your television show if you didn't remember the next job you had. You were like, actually, no, to your credit, Tom, you were like, it got canned. Fuck it. I don't
Hey, I'm here for all that.
You're the first one. I have tried so hard not to swear on this show so
my
far.
mother, I will publicly apologize. Mom, I am so sorry that I dropped the F-bomb. I'm so sorry. But I did change my setting on Facebook that this wasn't for kids. So,
fair enough. Not this show.
I wanted to briefly just backtrack, just thinking about, the louder we get, just as a quick, interesting dialogue about theater, because we were talking about this recently about the House of Martin Guerre, that that Ryan was the original cast in.
Well, there were a variety of casts before
in the
big
pivotal role,
of the very important farm boy Philippe, with
that
a solo line in song 6.
Right. No, but the only reason I bring that up is
I remember it well.
But the reason I brought that up is because we were talking about, what's exciting about Leslie Arden's work with the House of Martin Guerre is that it was having a resurgence lately, having had shows at Stratford and in the Charlottetown in concert, and we were going to be doing it in Toronto for the first time since '97, and we still will. Stay tuned, folks. It probably will be in the fall at this point, but it's happening. Thank you, Leslie, for letting us do it.
That's news for me, too.
Well, no, I want to do it. I got to do it. But the point was, getting back to the louder we get, it was previously called Prom Queen, and it was sort of in competition. It was like, so when Leslie released her show back in 1997, the writers of Les Miserables and Miss Saigon, Rubel, wrote a comparable show called Martin Guerre. And with all due respect to those incredible artists who wrote 2 smash hits, their third show was not quite as of the same craft. And but the unfortunate thing was that
they had Cameron McIntosh behind them on that side of the pond too, right? So
and as a result, Leslie's work, had a wonderful production in Chicago at the Jefferson Theater, but it didn't have an advancement to Broadway. But what's exciting about the project you were just on is when in its previous in Colleen and Akiva's previous named incarnation of Prom Queen, there was a recent show on Broadway called The Prom.
Of The Prom.
Yes. Right. So there was a little bit, because I know they had a showing of their work down at NAMPT, which is the National Alliance of Musical Theater. So I was really excited to see that this had a new branding. And as you said, the likes of Lonnie Price, because when Alessandro was with us, we were talking about Merrily We Roll Along, which Ryan performed in with us, and Alessandro did with Yes Theater. And of course, they're doing their co-pro this year with Crow's Theater. But Lonnie, of course, was an original company member, and we saw that brilliant documentary, which was what was it? The show.
I just saw it.
Best show that never happened. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Merrily We Roll Along tragedy.
No, but the reason I say that is because it's so cool that they're, that Tom and Akiva and under Stafford, who is the artistic director of Theatre Calgary, it's finding a new vision. And I'm just so thrilled that someone of Lonnie's stature, and, he's obviously, he's advocating for the work going forward.
Very much so.
And if I may, sorry, I don't mean to make this really quickly, just to remind people, we were talking about the subject matter of the show, just to reference back to Mark. What the
yes, sorry, yes, of course I didn't say. Also, I should mention that Kent Staines is the book writer, and the book is fantastic. I don't mean to leave him out of that. But the show is about, based on the true story of Mark Hall, who wanted to go to his prom with his boyfriend. And he was at Catholic school, so he had to end up suing the Catholic school board to bring his boyfriend to prom, and won.
Right.
Just something little.
Just taking on the establishment. The
Catholic school,
from
whatever.
The birth of Christ.
But it's amazing because he's such a, we met Mark several times. He's the loveliest guy. He lives in Calgary. Yeah. And he's such an unlikely hero. It's such a great story because someone who didn't want to be a hero, he just wanted to go to his prom. Yeah. And sort of, headlining, spearheading. So this whole movement of people getting to win, get advocacy and get heard,
and also bring who they love to their proms as well. There was definitely a tidal wave of sort of homegrown advocacy after this went through as well.
Yeah, and I got to play the lawyer in the show who represents him in the case.
Say something like courtroomy.
There wasn't much courtroom that we did in the show. It was much.
Oh no.
My only objection was What did I say?
Did you have
Objection,
a-
Your Honor. Oh, no, objection. Catholic teachings, prom is secular. It's not a religious event.
Oh,
And I was like, what? Ding, ding.
overrule. No.
Very excited. It was a lot of fun. It was a great time.
Without looking up at the Wikipedia right now, what was the time frame that Mark had this experience? Was it? It was the
92, I think.
Yeah. So it's incredible to think, the type of advocacy and the bravery of a young man like that, in high school, at the time when LGBT rights were shifting. So,
Yeah. And I think he didn't know about any of that. He was just he was raised with this very open family. And I think he just didn't think that should be a problem. And this is the problem. And he went, no.
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of amazing.
That is fantastic. So, maybe just as a setup for one of your songs, how
what are you gonna say?
How have you been social isolating? What does your social isolation look like? I mean, you have a hot apartment. Come on, you had a prop. Show us the prop.
Fully, because I'm like, our heat is not controllable.
It's freezing up here too.
I'm just fully. What's happening?
It's freezing in space, so we're living these very deep extremes here.
She is taking it to church.
It's so everyone else. Yeah. No, what's so great?
Go ahead.
Yeah, is that I'm a bit of a hermit anyway, so this sort of ordains my time alone. I'm like, thank you, Jesus, but does it have to be this reason? It's been amazing to actually just catch up with work and hang out and read and sleep and be able to cook at home and as some people know, I think I've had some family tragedy in the last few years and because it was sort of one on top of the other, I didn't have any time to mourn with space where I had some distance from it. Immediately afterwards, I went to spread ashes so I could just get it over with, but I wasn't really mourning and I was working, and so. This is the first time I've had to sit still and just take it in and what do I want to do next and where am I going and how do I feel about all of that. There's pictures to go through, like things I haven't done. Now I have this space. I hate that it's because of this, but I'm determined to use the time to do something for myself that's really kind of involves stillness and reflection and healing.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I saw an uncommon feeling right now too. I think after now like a week and a half or so into sort of the majority of people staying in, things have slowed down a little bit on the output as well on social media as well. And also too the variety of type of stuff people are putting out there now. There's more pictures of people doing puzzles or cooking instead of waka waka, like we got to stay busy. It's very difficult to change your tempo when you're not accustomed to it. So what are you doing at home to help facilitate that sort of tempo shift?
The cooking is a great thing for me.
Yeah.
I love cooking. I don't get to do it that often sometimes, but now there's all this space so I can prepare meals and have food, this really great home cooked food for days, and then okay, next batch of whatever. Take something out of the freezer and spend time in the kitchen, and that's very calming. And I'm good at slowing down when I need to. I don't get to that often, but I'm good at taking mini vacations. Like I'm taking like 2 hours off, or taking this afternoon off, doing nothing. I can drop right into nothingness really easy. So it's just knowing that there's no rush to do anything because who knows how long this is going to take. Yeah. So, okay, great. I'm going to rest a little bit. I'll work on the show a little bit. I'll go make some lunch. I'll go and read a book. I'll go and have a shower. I'll, whatever. And it's been kind of great. Giving into the slower tempo as opposed to the big crazy tempo that we all have when it's busy. Even when we're not working, we're so busy all the time.
Well, we're used to rolling at that momentum, right? So then all of a sudden being asked to stop, it's a cold turkey sort of thing, especially for people who thrive on that momentum. I relate to you when you say, oh, I can drop things, or I'm not, or my attachment to things is slightly different as well. But I also, hitting a wall of just doing nothing is very different than having a slowdown or some time between jobs or a break. So I know for me, I don't mind changing the tempo. It's just personal for me. But I know lots of people who are more extroverted and more motivated, quite frankly, are struggling. And so it's nice to consider different ways of doing that. And I like the idea of what you're saying of cooking and taking some time to put intent into creating something for yourself.
Yeah.
Mm. So what do you want to sing for
What are you going
us,
to sing?
Tom Allison?
Well, it's fun thinking of things to sing for this. This song I haven't sung for years, but it makes me laugh, especially right now, because on the surface it sounds like it's time to get out of this isolation. But quite frankly, when you think of what we've all been before the isolation, this is almost like the getting out of jail moment.
Oh, nice.
So a little something from a musical called The Life, called It's a Lovely Day to Be Out of Jail.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself now. Have a great sing. Bye, love.
Okay. Ain't the weather fine? Ain't a cloud in sight? It's a lovely day to be out of jail. How that sun do shine like a golden light. It's a lovely day to be out of jail. I've been in the shade, if you know what I mean. Thanks to legal aid, I am back on the scene. If the sky turns gray, that'll be okay. I don't care if there be thunder and hail, 'cause the fact remains, even if it rains, it's a lovely day to be out of jail. Winter ain't no thing. No, I don't give a damn. Every day is spring when you sprung from the slam. This morning I could hardly wait till it was time to journey through that iron gate. I threw back my head, looked up at the sky, and I said, ain't the weather fine? Ain't a cloud in sight? It's a lovely day to be out of jail. How that sun do shine like a golden light. It's a lovely day to be out of jail. You won't see me frown when the sun's out of sight, 'cause I'm getting down with my baby tonight. Everything's okay, far as I can see. It's a lovely day when you're finally free.
Girl! So good!
It's a great tune.
Oh, man. And such a great story in it, too.
Good story.
Oh,
totally.
man.
I have to say, Tom, I was sort of, as I was taking my 20-minute walk around the block. that's all I gave myself today. No,
Right?
I was trying to think of the first time that I saw you perform, and I think it might have been my first like concrete memory is the production of Songs for a New World.
Oh my God.
That you did.
That would never go away. We did that like 8 times.
Yeah, but with Sharon Matthews, Tracy Michaelides, you and Jason Knight, who's now, is that right? And Jason's now a Catholic agent.
In Killjoys.
Oh, wow.
God bless his ass.
Oh.
So much. Changed my life. Seriously.
Amazing.
But what I wanted to say is, just to mirror exactly what Ryan was expressing. Oh, there's Akiva right now. Hello, Akiva.
So true. It is so true.
That's hilarious. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, that's based on the comments.
It's magic, really, but that's
no. Akiva's mirroring the comments I made. I referred to Irenia Hermans as the Canadian Judy Kuhn and Gabby Epstein as the Canadian Barbra Streisand.
Okay.
And you are the Canadian Tom Allison.
You are Tom Allison.
Aim higher.
No. what I wanted to share was that, you know, like Ryan just reflected, you know, being both of us being teachers as well as performers, you know, when we're working with our students, it's you know, there's people have good voices and they have good looks, but it's really about how one interprets the piece, right? How someone brings the story off the page. And I have to say that we are very blessed to benefit from your storytelling. And I'm realizing how pretty your blue eyes look right now on the screen.
Oh my God.
Only just?
Natural light. They like natural light. That's all. I just know how to position myself.
Tom, actually, because that song, like, there's something sort of like standard and easygoing about that song. And there's not a lot of melodic journey through it. What's the trick in holding on to the lyric? What's the trick in holding on to the character when the song, because while the song has a journey, it's an easy journey, that song.
Yeah, it's not like a huge...
Right. It's not like this epic I Want song, right? So what's the trick then to marrying sort of what you're working with melodically with the lyric to hold on to not only your journey, but the audience through the song?
Yeah. You know, I'm such a story hound. It's my thing. Because I didn't come to singing as a singer, I didn't plan to be a singer. I went to Ryerson to do acting. I wanted to do classical theater.
Right.
I had an amazing singing teacher, Peggy Redmond, who taught me how to understand the song through the text and then let the voice follow you. It's a facilitator. So for me, it becomes about the situation, right? Like, if this person's coming out of jail, she hasn't been in jail long. It's, you know, it's a hooker coming out of jail. She's been in there for a few nights, whatever. But the idea of how we take for granted what we have, and suddenly you're free. I mean, thinking of this moment we're in right now, taking for granted our freedom to go walk around and go to the grocery store and have dinner with friends, and the idea of when you get to be out, there's so many layers of what that means. And I think it's about the discoveries, right? It's the discovering. You have one idea, that's that first verse. I always say that when I've been coaching more over the years and teaching, I say, why do you go on? We get the idea in the first verse.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
like,
you've said it. By the first chorus, you've said it, right?
Like, right, got it. But you don't shut up. So what do you discover that makes you go, oh, wait, there's more. There's another color, there's another element of this that is important. And then it leads you into the bridge, which is a whole different discovery of something else that's like, you know what, that broke me open. And then you come back to, okay, let me just finish up this thought and wrap it up. Like, it was such a journey, but it's the detail inside it. You know, Sondheim and how he'll do the same melody, but change 2 notes. You're like, oh, I see. Like, when you get it, you're like, I can never think of that the same way again. But telling you, like, you're a mother, beep, beep, beep. You know, it's crazy making. But then when you get inside it and go, I will never be the same. You've opened me completely. And I love that. I'm a real fine-tooth comber. Like, I'll go through the music itself, doing what's it doing, who's motifs.
Where are the clues? What?
Yeah, everything gives you information. You know, and I always say, like, the music is either the subtext or it's the vehicle. You have to figure out what that is. And for Sondheim, it's always the subtext.
Yeah.
Something I'm giving you a darkness or something I see.
Oh,
you know,
that's what he's saying. Yeah, yeah.
That's that thing. Or like you get a Richard Rodgers or or a Gershwin. The melody isn't subtext. It's something you're riding on. Then you've got to do that work to pull that meaning of the text that then, with the beauty of the melody, creates the tension. Which is
so magical with deft singers like yourself. And when we had Gabby last night, being able to sing a Gershwin song that I'd never heard before, and Gershwin, it was incredible, right? And yet the fact that she holds, like, a Gershwin tune, you hear it and you go, oh, a Gershwin tune. Like, in some ways, it's identifiable.
Yeah, you know.
But the fact that she was taking me on this sort of like nuance. She was listening for not only every clue in the melody, which, like you said, was the vehicle, but every lyrical clue to give any sort of change or any sort of nuance. I remember in high school, we'd be reading The Great Gatsby and talking about symbolism. And in grade 9, I was like, oh, symbolism. Who fills their book with symbolism? Nobody thinks that much. And now I realize, now looking back on things, I go, oh, no, everything is rife with reason.
Right.
And so I just have to just give props and admiration for how deft you are with that, Tom. It was a beautiful rendition of the song. So thank you.
Thank you.
If my beautiful boys, I may very briefly have some donation shout outs.
Oh, good.
Here.
Yes.
People are clearly enjoying what you're saying, Tom, and what you're saying.
Okay.
It's all you, my love. So we had an
please.
anonymous donation of $50. Carrie Ricker gave us $100 for the ACF, not us, the ACF. Malcolm Matheson donated $50. Lana Carrillo, our dear Lana, donated $100.
Oh my God.
Linda Rapp, $18. David Rundle, $50. Jody Frankel, $50. And Alona Nako, $150. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
That's great.
Oh, there was a comment that came up here that I'm curious if you can speak to.
Oh.
So first
it's either an inside joke or a true story.
It's actually, well, it's
so Tom, first off, for our viewing audience, tell them first what Slings and Arrows is, and then tell us about the story.
Okay. Oh my God, Michael. Slings and Arrows is this. It's crazy. It's a crazy, famous now Canadian show based on the Stratford Festival. Basically, it's a TV show that had 3 seasons. I forget now. 3 seasons. 3 seasons. Because it was the 3rd season. 3 seasons. On this fictional. Rep company and the AD who dies, and then one of the lead actors to take over. It was a very, very funny show. Great show about theater life and actors and the backstage and the making of that kind of company and the goings on. So, okay, I'll try to make this short. So, oh my God, it was actually, I'm not sure if I can tell this, but it's been so many years. It was actually Jason again, who my agent calls and says, Jason called my agent and said, listen, Slings and Arrows, 3rd season. They've written a part that is Tom. We're like, oh, that's nice. Like, no, it's actually, at the time I had blonde hair. It's actually Tom. Because I was at Stratford at the time for a chunk of time.
Yes.
And the part was mixed race, musical theater performer with blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm like, is that the other one? Because I'm pretty sure I'm the only one in that moment who was, okay, so like, can Tom come into audition? I know, that sounds familiar. And it's like, wow, he wrote me in, because how many blonde hair? Okay, so great, his audition, I'm at Stratford, right? So day off is Monday. So
can you imagine you walk in the waiting room and there's all your friends.
They've all dyed their hair. I'm ready to go. It's like, if you can get it in front of me, bitches, go for it. So auditions on Thursday, he's got a matinee, can't make it. Oh, well, too bad. Oh, okay. So they have auditions, call back like a few days. They couldn't find anyone. Huh. They're going to have auditions again. Great. When are they? The next Tuesday. He's got a matinee. Oh, well, too bad. Okay. What was that again? Calling back? Oh, they couldn't find anyone.
They haven't found anyone yet.
They couldn't find anyone, huh? So Monday auditions. Great. I'm free. I go in, have this great audition for Jason and for Susan Coyne. We're laughing. We're doing this. They're like, oh my God. Jason's like, great. Get the call. Totally, you're in. This is it. It's your part. They're thrilled. They're so excited. I mean, great.
I'm so proud of you that you'd be able to pull that. Like, I mean, just be you. Like, I'm so like that's really being you.
But I know what you mean. But I was like, I got nothing to lose if this happens. Right. If it doesn't, what do I say? But I'm like, I would have been so shamed had I not gotten like,
that's happened. I got a commercial audition one time that said a Ryan Kelly type, and I didn't even get it, and I didn't get the commercial. And I was like, oh,
that's tragic. That's all I did.
I'm not commenting on that. Because
moving on.
So anyways, I get it. They give us the shooting schedule, and during the schedule, I was going to be playing Daddy Warbucks and Annie at the Grand. Like after the season, and that's when they're shooting.
You got the hairline for it there.
Listen, I'm like, I'm born to play this part. And so there was 2 days where there might have been a possible problem. But they don't want to deal with any kind of problems. I'm like, well, I can't. Like the show is starting in like 2 days, like a week or something. I'm like, I can't just pull out a week beforehand. Well, they're going to look for someone else. Okay, I thought, well, let's see how it goes. So they have auditions again.
Who?
Can't find anyone. So they cut the part and just absorb some of the lines into Damien Atkins' role. So I was in the show, got the part, they cut it because they couldn't find another me and wouldn't work around 2 days. I'm just saying. So I was almost in the 3rd season, like a bunch of days, like, and I was like,
oh no. Oh, I need a fan. It suddenly got very warm in space up here.
It's one of those moments I'm like, should I have not? I'm proud of my choice, but I'm like, mother, why are you doing this? That hurt my feelings. That would hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Really.
That is a great.
It's so not a huge hit, and people love it over the world. I'm like, I could have been in the 3rd.
Been in there.
Michael Whitehead, thank you for asking that
You
question.
were.
That was an
You were
amazing.
in there.
Michael Whitehead. Good memory. Holy cow.
God
Oh my
bless
God.
Damien Atkins for being able to play a mixed-race, blue-eyed bald man. That's what I'm impressed with.
I took my lines.
You
know, it was like, Damien, no, they thought about it. And then you'll play Othello next season. It'll be great.
You know.
Wow. Well, I think that might be a brilliant lead-in because we were talking about all the people that were trying to play you. So
amazing. Well done, sir. Well done.
Pulled it right out of my whatever. So tell us what you're going to sing, Tom Allison.
I'm gonna sing. Funny enough, after Gabby last night and her fabulous, everything fabulous from her from Barbara. But I did this. I created this really. I think it's great. I love it. This arrangement of people with Wayne Gwilym, the wonderful Wayne Gwilym, and I created this for, I forget what it was 4 years ago, but it's this version of people that we kind of fell in love with and kind of kept crafting and fixing it. So it's Wayne playing piano, and this is this version that we created for this.
I can't wait.
So here we go. Get it up here. Come on. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world. We're children needing other children, and yet letting our grown-up pride hide all the need inside, acting more like children than children. Lovers are very special people. They're the luckiest people in the world. With one person, one very special person, a feeling deep in your soul says you were half, now you're whole. No more hunger and thirst, but first be a person who needs people. People who need people are the luckiest people in the world.
What? Thank you.
Holy Chris, I just realized how freaking lucky we are every night. We get I'm just sitting here and I'm like, wow, Tom is just singing.
I'm like,
songs
he's
for
not
me.
in an equity contract. I'm not paying an actor.
He's not busy right now. I'll put him in a show where they're looking for a mixed race bald guy with blue eyes.
He's wearing
sure
green.
would.
I'm literally like eating popcorn. I'm like,
that was fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you.
I was backstage going,
yeah, me too. I was just like, oh.
Sarah Jean, I can't agree more.
That was my sentiment exactly.
We're going to pay you soon,
Hi,
Sarah.
sweetheart.
Come on. Oh, what is? May I get?
No kidding.
Kelly.
You are the auto-tune on my voice, actually, Kelly. You are the auto-tune on my voice.
Oh my God!
Yay, Magis, please.
No, that. Thank you.
Oh,
that's
look at Jay out there.
so beautiful, so beautiful. So, Ryan, just based on the conversation we were having,
Yeah.
again, let's keep the people thing going, playing different people, being
people. Oh, okay. So like, yeah, because actually I was like, how do we segue? Because as smooth as that last one that you did, Christopher, I was trying to think of something that might lead into it, but I also wanted to enjoy the song. I'm thinking about how much our community has changed, and we've known each other for a long time now, and so how much things have changed for everyone in the community. But I would say things have changed. If I may be bold to say, things have changed a lot for a man such as yourself, a man of color, a man who is diverse or is in a diversity framework, and also as a gay man. And I'm curious because I've also played roles that are straight and stuff, but how has the journey been for you from where you began, or where you think you began?
Yeah,
because versus where you are now. Because I mean, like, I'm where you are now, but I'm not you. So tell me what it is like to play a character. It's Pre, right? Is that the name of your character? C.
Yeah.
So what has the journey been like for you from the beginning to now, being yourself and also being these incredible characters?
That's an interesting question. It's funny. At the beginning of my career, I was such a big lady in the beginning. I didn't even know it. Theater
but
school,
you weren't a big girl.
I avoided that because I don't want you.
Okay, thanks, Statler.
What was interesting was I was a fat kid, and so I was a character actor. Like, I was doing all these character parts because I wasn't a leading man, and I was like, great, I don't care, this is great, this is fun. Then I got older, came to theater school, lost 50 pounds, came out and sort of had leading man kind of looks, I was told. But I'm like, yeah, but I'm a weirdo. Like, I don't understand straight ahead. And so the idea of playing really characters sort of terrified me. I thought, I don't want to. I don't know what I was afraid of. I didn't want to.
I can relate to that because I remember at Sheridan. Did you go? Is that where you went to school? Did you go to Sheridan? Oh, you went to Ryerson. At Sheridan, we had to do these acting tutorial or acting critiques where we had to like do the scariest thing that we like the thing that we were most afraid of on stage. And part of my biggest fear was just looking stupid, like looking legit. And I think in my youth, I was terrified of just looking stupid. So I knew what I could be, but as I began to become an adult, I didn't know what I could become.
Yeah.
So I can relate to that sort of feeling of, oh, geez, don't put me in that role because I don't believe that myself.
Yeah, what I believe, that's exactly what it was. It really was a thing. I didn't think I'd be believable. And partly, again, through theater school and some great teachers and some great mentors, I realized that whole line between masculine and feminine is actually such a thin line. Shift here, shift there. And suddenly, once I realized that, my career opened up. And also, it's funny. Do you remember? Oh my God, this has been happening since my family all sort of died. I get these memory synaptic misfires.
Okay.
Karen Wholeness.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful.
Crazy for you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So her and I used to laugh because we were. At a time when diversity was being talked about with other language, people really needed that. This is like the mid-1920s when I was coming up. And they said they needed something, right? They needed to sort of put something in the pot. Her and I used to laugh because we were like just dark enough to fill the quota, but not too dark to be scary or intimidating. So we got all this work. And we could do
a little bit of diversity.
There's a little flavor, not too fast, too much too fast. So because I was discovering myself and what I could do, which was expanding, and I was getting the opportunity to do jobs, I started getting roles not normally given to people of color. As I went along, directors were casting me in as I got my career expanded, I got bigger parts, and Outrageous being my big sort of break.
Yes,
Toronto,
the Craig Russell story.
Exactly, and that was a total 42nd Street, showbiz moment of like doing the workshop with my fabulous buddy Tim playing the lead, and he got sick, and we sort of all stepped in and well, let's just absorb the songs and do a reading of it for this public tonight because he had to go to the hospital, and our pianist Diane Leah knew that I did some impersonation, and she's like, Tom can do it, and so I pulled some stuff out, and from that, Brad decided he needed a fresh take on the show. He'd been working on it for 10 years,
Right.
And he's like, let's make him a younger, mixed race dude. That began this whole thing where people started to look at me, and I started to get parts that were like, well, that's not that, but let's try that. And they gave me the chance. And
this strikes me then. Do you see it as a man of color playing a white role, or do you see it as reinterpreting the character fully from, say, your perspective?
Good question. I think you always have to actually evaluate what's required. If the race helps the story along, let's see where we fold it in. If it doesn't actually do anything, it's not the issue. It doesn't actually help the story be better. Just play the person.
Thank you. I think
that has to be the discussion. It can't always be like, now they're black. Because like, well, what does that mean? Like, black doesn't always mean something extra.
Sure.
So, and it certainly as I'm sort of direct as well, I'm aware of what does that help us do with the story. We add a lot. Mary Poppins, it literally changed the story when Joelle Blackman was cast as Mrs. Banks.
Yes.
Suddenly it made sense of a problem I had with the story and that relationship that opened it up. And of course, Vanessa, who was genius as Mary, but with her, it was just being Mary. It didn't matter the color. But with Joelle, the color was completely important and changed the show for me. So
does that then give another nuance in the relationship between Mrs. Banks and Mary?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and why she allows her to come into her home so quickly.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I haven't seen a lot of you coming in for the job. You seem capable and a little unnerving. I'm willing to go with that.
Yes.
You know, get a sister in the door and give it a try.
Oh, that's genius. It's
kind of cool.
So
I think
so in outer space, is your character is human, or are you an alien?
Yeah, all humans in our show. What was great was that Michelle Lovretta, who created our show, who also created Lost Girl, she's amazing. She's this amazing woman who has said it before and said it to us. She said, in the worlds I want to create, I want to believe we're past that. There are other things to fight about. We've actually gotten over that bullshit. That's not the issue anymore.
No more Hunger Games.
No, it's not about. And so there was never a thing of like. There was never a thing of my character was gay, and so someone was like, "Oh, he's gay." That was just that wasn't a thing.
That was pre.
Yeah, pre, and he was sort of this. Her costume designer described him to me one day. She said, in terms of the costume, she said, imagine him as a bird of paradise in a pile of shit. I was like, oh, sold. I'm like, I got it. So the costumes were like, everyone's like gray and black and brown, and I'd be in the bar and like fuchsia and blood red, with feathers and sequins on my face.
You are everything.
But yeah, so it was great. It was great because it was such a wonderful, and the response we got has been kind of amazing from the fans, and the character became. And it's not even about me, but just the character, what he represents, was so great. It was mine to screw up. You know what I mean? But he was so free and like would wear makeup and would dress whatever he felt like, but yet will stab you in the hand if you're trying to take his bar. Will kick you out of his bar if you're being whatever. He's got hookers upstairs. He's playing madam. Like he's owning this place and is not taking shit from anyone. It was kind of we haven't really seen that exact thing on TV, so I was so thrilled. And there's been a lot of attention for the character. Oh, welcome to Toronto, Queen Street. Hello.
They're coming for you.
The show's on fire, you guys. It's on fire. Oh, it's a double fire.
It's on fire, coming up the way.
There's the heat down.
Having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave, because it's black. Temperatures.
So, Tom, because you've had such a diverse, you've had such a diverse adventure in your career. You started, as you said, you started out in theater school in quote unquote. I love this term. I don't know why we call it straight theater. It's just straight theater, but
I know
it just has such a different context now. But anyway, as I was saying, so we've done straight plays. We've seen you in great work at Canton Stage. You've been on Broadway. Your journey, what was it like for you working in New York City?
I love New York. I love New York. From the first week I was there, I felt like I lived there. Sharon was in my class at Ryerson.
Hi, Sharon. Sweet.
Made this a cantor. Genius. So I love being there. I love being in New York. I love being on Broadway. The show made people happy, which was great. I sort of took a moment in that show. I'm not sure I should go into this. I kind of sold my soul to be in that show because I wanted to be on Broadway. I thought it would be something else, and it ended up not being what I thought it was going to be. And so I had a real crisis of faith in myself and in the business during that run in New York, which was so weird because I love being in New York. But there was a moment when I found myself in a full emotional breakdown in my bed, weeping. I thought, I can't go on. I can't, I'm going to be destroyed by this show. It's not about the show per se.
It was the cupcake dress. That's
it was the cupcake. It was too much. That was the only good thing, really. But it's interesting, those things are like, oh, it's the dream. And it's like, it's another place to work. If the show isn't what you want it to be, you're just stuck in a show for a year.
If I may, I think that's super important because, not only, I want to keep directly on the tangent that you just talked about, but not only are we talking about sort of, someone outside of your experience would go, oh my God, Tom Allison is on Broadway. He's got everything. And within your own personal journey relative to how you were artistically fulfilled, it was a very different narrative for you.
Yeah,
I remember when I was at McGill University, a very famous, he was international. He's still teaching. He in the classical singing, his name is Daniel Taylor. He's a countertenor, which is a male alto. And he started his career very young. He sort of hit an international platform in his early 20s. And I remember that he was at La Scala. He was working in every major in early music. But I remember him coming back to Montreal after a very significant tour, and he was very sad. And I was probably about 20 years old at the time. And he said to me, the people, they don't care about me as a person. He said, they care about my voice. And I'm on tour and they go home to their lives and their families, and I go home to an empty hotel room. And right. I remember in that moment how at 20 years of age, looking at Dan and saying, you've got it all, and went, oh, there are different stakes. It's not just, it's about lifestyle. It's about connectivity. It's about feeling anchored in yourself emotionally, as well as anchored to the work. And, especially emerging artists, people that want, stardom and fame, they don't quite have the consciousness, and it's not a criticism because it's where they're at.
You learn it as you get old, like the three of us, I guess, over time too, right?
Yeah, but it's important to continue the dialogue about how it is that we need to be conscious and mindful of our emotional connection to the work first and foremost, because sometimes we do take contracts that we think, like, I remember, back in the day, my biggest career year was 1995. I was not without agent. I booked Beauty and the Beast in Toronto and Stratford at the same time. Now, I turned down Beauty and the Beast. I was supposed to be in the first company because I was still in school and I would have had to have left McGill, and I had already signed my Stratford contract. But I remember a certain casting agent, which will remain nameless, saying to me at the time that I was giving up an opportunity of a lifetime. And even though my life trajectory would have been very different had I done the gig, I never, ever had any regrets about making the choice that I did, because I was in integrity with my word. I didn't burn a bridge. And ultimately, I got to finish my university degree, So even at 20 years of age, we all have to sort of do what's right for us, right?
I think it's especially difficult for young people as a teacher and a mentor, and actually directing young people too, to remember that your value is not hinging on the amount of recognition you get as being a singer, a dancer, an artist, a creator. Although creator, I think, is more enveloping. But a lot of my dancers at school, they concern their worries about their self-value as if, well, if I can't dance, then what am I? Or if I can't sing, or if I can't, So this is extremely valuable, even for me as someone who we're sitting here isolated, and yet this conversation is extremely fulfilling to remind myself that no, output isn't the only goal. Sometimes input and forced input, I guess imposed input, might be good for our hearts and souls anyway.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say, Tom, was thank you for opening up the space and being authentic to share that truth, because someone might be covetous of saying, I was on Broadway in a great big splashy show, but I wasn't happy. And I think that takes a lot of humility and a lot of honesty. And what it does, it models for people to be in authenticity with themselves. So thank you for sharing that space. That's super cool.
It was funny. I just quickly, I said, a friend of mine once said, I want your career. And I said, okay. But then you have to take the 10 years of bulimia. You have to take the self-doubt. You have to take the nervousness. You have to take the nerves. You have to take the relationship with food that's lasted 30 years. You have to take all this goes with it. And he's like, I'm like, yeah, welcome in.
I heard a saying about like, you know, be happy to do what you want to do, but you have to live with what's the shit sandwich that you're willing to live with, or that you're willing to eat. And it's like, well, yeah, if you want this, then you also have to have had that.
You have to have it without, you take it with all the trimmings. You have to have
you take the good, you take the bad.
You take them both. There you have it.
As I use this fabulous, please. I was gonna say, as I use this fabulous trach scar, I say, God, I just do high kicks and drink pink frilly drinks with an umbrella.
Is Tom gonna sing another song?
Tom, what are you gonna sing for us? What's your final?
How are you gonna send us off tonight,
final song? It's another piece that actually Wayne and I put together. I've done it for years, and I haven't done it for a while, but I love it. It's a bit of a mashup of the Trolley song, which I've loved forever. It's a lovely piece of Judy, and She Touched Me from Drat the Cat.
Oh, one of my favorite movies, actually. I love Drat the Cat.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I'm muting. Goodbye. Have a good sing.
All right, here we go. Let's see if I remember these words. Okay. Okay. Whew, okay, I'm sweating after this. With her high starched collar and her high topped shoes and her hair piled high upon her head, she went to lose a jolly hour on the trolley and found my heart instead. With my light brown derby and my bright green tie, I was quite the handsomest of men. I started to yen, so I counted to 10, then I counted to 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Clang, clang, clang went the trolley. Ding, ding, ding went the bell. Zing, zing, zing went my heartstrings. From the moment I saw her, I fell. Chug, chug, chug went the motor. Bump, bump, bump went the brake. Thump, 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 thump went my heartstrings. When she smiled, I could feel the car shake. I tipped my hat and took a seat. I said I hoped I hadn't stepped upon her feet. I asked her name, then lost my breath. I couldn't speak because she scared me half to death. Then she touched me. She put her hand near mine, and then she touched me. I felt a sudden tingle when she touched me. A sparkle, a glow. She knew it. It wasn't accidental, no. She knew it. She smiled and seemed to tell me so all through it. She knew it, I know. She's real, and the world is alive and shining. I feel such a wonderful drive toward valentining. Buzz, buzz, buzz went the buzzer. Plop, plop, plop went the wheel. Stop, stop went my heartstrings. When she struggled to leave, I took hold of her sleeve with my hand. And as if it were planned, she touched me, she touched me. And suddenly, nothing is the same.
Yeah!
Oh my God!
Adorable! That was so
I can't even.
That was so good. Now, are you Leslie Ann Warren or are you Elliot Gould in this?
Oh God, I hope I'm Leslie Ann Warren.
I would say so. Yes. Girl, that was so good.
So close. At the end, I'm like, oh shit.
You killed it. You killed it. Let me shout out some donations. we have a $25 donation from John Kilcrease. Brian Nasamok donated $90. Megan Watson, $100. We have Jay Sean Elliott, one of our best and beautifuls, $25. Kayla or Kyla Gordon, $50. Martin Julian, love Martin, work with him at Stratford. Stratford. I work with him at Sheridan, $50. And Howard Kaplan, $500.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
We want to remind you again that Places Please Live is a 24-hour telethon that started at 2 o'clock this afternoon. God bless them.
I think Mitchell Cushman is coming on now, actually.
They've got programming happening all through the night, literally all through the night. So, Michael Cruz. So I just wanted to encourage you and thank all of the patrons and the viewers who are sharing in this with us and for continuing to donate so generously to the Actors Fund. Tomorrow, just before we get ready, Tom, I'm not getting ready yet. Tomorrow, we've got our fourth. Oh my God, I feel like I've been doing this a year. It's only been 4.
Oh, me too.
We've got 4 tomorrow. Our fabulous guest is none other than Miss Sarah Strange.
Sarah Strange,
gorgeous talent. Sarah was going to, she will be in the House of Martin Guerre, whether it's now or later. She'll be in the House of Martin Guerre. But we're excited to have Sarah on. And if you are going to continue to follow us and share anything on social media, please use our hashtag Big Girl and Friends. Big girl. Yes, every show got to be one.
Oh,
and I didn't take out the
you didn't break the piano tonight.
So Tom, we've reached 8 o'clock. Ryan, myself, we couldn't be more grateful.
Thank you so much.
This is amazing. Thank you for doing this.
Your artistry.
I hope you had fun.
I had fun. Your authenticity, your beautiful blue eyes, your sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. Thank you, Kelly Holland, for making him wear his best jewels. And we wish you all a beautiful night, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Tom, stay on. We'll give you another
Mission Control, over and out.
Yes, Mission Control, over and out. You were lovely.
Oh my God, you guys, you are awesome.
Ryan went away. He went away.
He's like, fuck you guys, I'm out of here. I'm done. I had enough of that screaming bitch.
Where'd he go?
He's like, bye, bitches. Bye, Alicia.
Let him come back in. Let me get him. You can take off your coat, babe.
Oh my God, thank you. Yes.
Yes, take off your clothes. Take it off. It's getting hot in here.
No, I'm singing enough. Tonight at 10:45, I'm actually going to sing my number from The Louder We Get.
Oh, on the telethon?
On the telethon. What?
The broadcast was still